Whenever we're traveling, we do our best not to miss any UNESCO World Heritage Sites along the way. And in this case, we visited a very good one located near Dublin. On this trip, we visited the sites of Newgrange, Knowth and Dowth, and we visited the Hill of Slane and one more along the way. Designated a World Heritage Site in 1993 by UNESCO, it takes only about 1 hour by car from Dublin, and it's a very easy drive as long as you remember to drive on the left.
Where are we going now?
Now we're going to Newgrange Monument, also called.
We had the Irish Heritage Pass, so our admission was included. However, it usually costs €18 per adult. This includes the Newgrange guided tour and exhibition, and the guided tour is mandatory. Also keep in mind that you must book well in advance because it sells out very quickly. Located in the Bóinne Valley, Newgrange is a prehistoric tomb that is over 5,000 years old. That makes it older than Stonehenge and the Great Pyramids of Giza. Newgrange and Knowth are part of the tour. However, Dowth is separate and is actually free to enter. More on that later. The visitor center was professionally done, and we learned a lot about the Bóinne complex. From the visitor center, it's a scenic 10-minute walk over the River Bóinne, where we would meet the guide and then take the shuttle bus to our first destination. Knowth was the first stop on the tour, and it didn't have a passage like Newgrange did. Instead, we were able to walk on top of it and still see some of the prehistoric carvings along the side. The mound is 85 meters in diameter and 13 meters high. It has a passage measuring 19 meters, which leads into a chamber with 3 alcoves. The passage and chamber are both aligned with the rising sun in the mornings around the winter solstice.
Professor O'Kelly excavated the chamber in here. In front of each recess, he found underneath these very well.
Going through Newgrange was a unique experience, and we're really glad we didn't miss it. The guide was excellent, and we got to experience what would happen when the lights went out and a dim shaft of light went through the chamber, as it did every solstice. Unlike Newgrange and Knowth, Dowth was completely different in both location and condition. We had to drive our car since the tour didn't cover this site. It was not easy to find, but we eventually got there. However, the condition of Dowth was not so good, and the farmland was full of sheep shit. Poor Kim even stepped in some of it. On the other hand, we visited an interesting site that was just nearby as well. If you want to make sure you see everything at the Bóinne site, you can see Dowth. But considering the condition and the difficulty getting there, and the sheep, it's not one that we really recommend. After the tour, we stopped at one more place on the way back to Dublin. This was the Hill of Slane, and it wasn't that far from the tombs. The Hill of Slane consists of a cemetery and the ruin of an old monastery, or abbey. According to its history, it was converted into a church around the 6th century AD, so the remains of the site now are actually of a later church and tower, not the original monastery. The Hill of Slane is actually more well known for a significant event that happened in the life of St. Patrick many years ago.
Right now we're standing on the Hill of Slane. This was the spot where St. Patrick lit fires for Easter in opposition to the pagan kings of the time. It's a beautiful spot overlooking the valley here. You can see here's the cemetery, and in the background there are some ruins we're going to visit in just a moment. Very peaceful here, almost nobody around. We've only seen a few people.
The site is a ruin, but it has some beautiful views of the surrounding countryside, and it's interesting to imagine what happened many, many years ago between St. Patrick and the pagan kings of Ireland. Bóinne complex is a must-see, with Newgrange being particularly impressive. The Hill of Slane is an easy side trip, and we also were impressed by its beauty and the views. The Hill of Tara can also be found nearby. However, we ended up doing it at the end of our trip.
To Dublin. This is the. Delicious.
In the next video, we head into a cave and then drive into an unexpected car show as we make our way to the southwest of Ireland.